This is a cool experience. I should probably fully strip down, but there's someone filming with a camera. I'll save that till later. For now, let's just relax. Did you know that the average person gets 60 to 100 notifications a day? And that every time we feel the phone vibrate or go off, our body gets flooded with that dopamine hit, wondering what or who it is. Hey, that noise may have been enough to trigger that response. We're always bombarded with information from all different sources, and we're addicted to the next dopamine hit. Marketing and social media apps are doing a great job of capitalizing on this, always giving us an escape away from life and boredom. But what happens when we strip everything external away, and we're just left with our minds? Well, I'm about to find out. For my birthday, I was given a float tank voucher, and this is how it went. So yeah, as I'm walking here, I've realised that I don't actually know too much about float tanks and what they do, and I've kept it that way so I go in with an open mind and just see what happens. When I arrived, I met one of the co-founders, and she was super lovely, and she showed me around the place. And then gave me a basic introduction about what to expect. So first she went over the basics about the whole pre-float experience. So first, you strip down. Second, you chuck in the earplugs. You jump in the shower.
On the first shower, you can use shampoo and body wash, use a good wash and rinse, look at the like surf products, creams and things like that.
Now that all the basics were covered, she went into a bit more detail about what to expect during the float.
Highly recommended closing it while you're in there, just because it'll help keep your body temperature better regulated. Yeah. So once you settle in and you find a comfortable position, the air and the water becomes so similar that actually you don't really feel where the boundary is between the two, which is quite cool. You're gonna float on your back, head to the front and feet towards the end. Body position, like really up to you. I'd say most people prefer their arms overhead. You might want to try down by your side, on your belly. It doesn't really matter. Just get comfortable. What'll happen is when you first get in there, you're gonna bob up like a cork, and you're probably gonna hold yourself out like you would in a bath or a pool. See if you can actually relax, let the head go and the neck go. If you have quite a bit of tension through your neck, you just put your head on top. So not mandatory, your head is gonna float regardless, but a lot of people hold tension through their neck and shoulders, so that can be a really nice way of just giving you a bit of extra support. So when you get in there and settle in, you'll bob off the walls a little bit, a couple of times side to side. Once you eventually lie still, then eventually you'll end up in the middle and stop hitting the walls. Spray bottle is if you get salt water in your eyes accidentally. So obviously not recommended to touch your hands anywhere near your face. So the salt water is not good on cuts, but also not great in your eyes or your nose or your mouth.
So now that I knew how it all worked, it was time to start the float. Okay, so we're going in. Okay, so we're in here. It's pretty steamy. Let's just see how it goes. Oh, I almost forgot. Time for lights out. I went in there, I was relaxing, started like floating to the sides. You can't really control it. It's a weird feeling to start off with. You can feel the difference between the air and the water. As the time goes on, that feeling sort of disappears and you no longer know how you're feeling. You can't feel how your arms are, how your body are. And there was one point where I was sort of relaxing, finally sort of started figuring it all out, and it almost felt like I was floating in the clouds a little bit, but then I could feel the water moving around, and then as a result I sort of like come straight back out of there, and it was back into this nothing. After I'd finished the float, there was a nice chill space where I could have a drink, relax, and then reflect on my float. While I was there, I was lucky enough to break down my floating experience with the co-founder of Float. We're thinking like, especially with this experience, you're first going in, you're trying all these different things, and you're like, oh, okay, gotta get all this, gotta get this. And then you're like, oh, my earthing's not quite right. And it's like, all those little things, and you're like, oh, okay, what if against my ear, and
Yeah.
I'm moving around, and I'm
Yeah.
meant to just stay still.
Yeah.
Like, how's it work? Like,
Yeah. So that becomes less part of the
Yeah.
experience, and so you can kind of just drop into whatever state of mind that you're in, I guess.
But I laughed at one point, like, in my head I laughed, because I was like, if Sam's recording that, he's just gonna have like a whole like, video of my junk, just like. I just thought, if you ever connect to it at any point to see what's going on, you're just gonna see like a
Can you
fake.
like live feed it? Like,
You can. I'm so glad I didn't.
But if he did actually do that, and he's just sitting here going, having a good old giggle, that would be embarrassing. I did spend a little bit of time thinking about that as I was.
Thoughts come and go, honestly,
Yeah.
when you're in there, and like the first float, you'll be the most alert. You go in there, and it just kind of gives you what you need on the day. So it's like if you're tired, you'll fall asleep.
Yeah.
It's a great place to meditate, but it's also a great place just to like think through stuff because there's no distractions. So you can kind of like, I don't know, mull over stuff that's been like,
Just
lingering
like,
in your mind.
like, oh my
Yeah.
God.
And if you can like go and drop into it, like there are floats that you get that are like go real quick, and it feels so like.
Well, yeah, I mean,
come out and you're like, well, where did that hour go?
Yeah.
But
Because I did notice it was similar because I've been doing the meditation, and I find like sometimes I get to a point in meditation where I can't feel my body or anything like that, and it was like a similar experience, but it was almost like, I think the other with the meditation, it's sort of you've got there purely from like a mind state, whereas this is almost like physically induced that state, and then like trying to counter it. Yeah, but it's just, I feel like doing that a few times, you'll experience something.
Yeah.
Has anyone sort of experienced like, because I almost like once I'd hopped out, and you're almost like, it's the same feeling when you hop off a boat, and you're still a little bit like that, is that?
Yeah, some people get a
pretty
bit
common?
like we've had a handful of people experience a bit of motion sickness in the float tank because it kind of feel a little bit of that bobbing. That's usually if people have like a vertigo or like inner ear like imbalance. But it can feel a little bit ungrounded when you first.
Yeah, I hopped out and I was like, oh, this
you
is
almost
a
need
bit.
an earthing that out
Yeah,
there, right?
yeah, exactly.
Get your feet back on the ground and actually.
Yeah.
No worries. Good to have you along and giving it a go for the first time.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So that was my experience with my first time in doing a float tank and sort of being surrounded in absolutely nothing. I definitely feel like it's something that as you were to do it again, you'd definitely learn more about it, and you'd be able to fully relax into it more and then fully sort of experience those benefits. But because I was first sort of starting out and we were getting everything set up, I sort of had these thoughts about, okay, I've got to get the camera set up. I hope we've got all the shots that we need and all that. Whereas if you sort of go and do it another time, just be nice and refreshing. And sort of you can either, as she mentioned, you can sort of process your thoughts as a place to think, a place to be quiet. And especially these days with all these different things going on and notifications and pop-ups and everything, it's nice just to get to a point where it's just fully nothing. If you want to see what I get up to next, hit that subscribe button. Till next time. Peace. I just want to also mention that the experience that I've had here has been super nice. People have been super friendly, and I couldn't expect for anything more. So if you're interested, Floatwell is the name of the place, so come check it out.